kind of a weird scheduling sequence. The Hawks followed a 7-game road trip with an 8-game homestand. Jonathan Toews and Scott Darling hoping to end what has been a disappointing homestand on a promising note. Yes, tonight they begin a home-and-home series against a team desperate for points, the Florida Panthers. Welcome in, everybody. Pat Foley along with Eddie Olczyk. Glad you're with us for Blackhawks hockey. And this is the end of an 8-game homestand for the Hawks. They've only taken 7 points out of 14 so far, Eddie. Coming into the homestand, the Hawks, their fans, thinking maybe we can catch the St. Louis Blues. Maybe we can challenge the Nashville Predators for first place. It hasn't happened that way. So this homestand's been disappointing. You want to look a little further back, though.
Yeah, I do, Pat. But I think most recently we should talk about the game Sunday against the Boston Bruins. You're going to have games like that when you're not going to have it at times. And the Boston Bruins, they're a pretty good team, by the way. But for me, that's not the concern. The concern is, Pat, is where this team is. The record has been since January 1st at the Winter Classic when they lost to the Washington Capitals. They are 10-3 in their last 23 games. Those are numbers we have not seen from this team in a long time. That's my greater concern. Can they turn it around here? I would expect they'd be a little angry and more desperate here tonight against the Florida Panthers.
The last 2 losses one-sided, not the type of games we're used to seeing from the Blackhawks. The wake-up call hopefully has been pushed. Part of that will stand in the blue paint tonight. 26-year-old Scott Darling is back. He's going to get the call.
Well, a lot of people have been throwing the word panic around. They asked Joe Quenneville that at the media, and he said, no, it's my attention. And the attention button has been pushed. To me, Scott Darling is a guy that has great poise, great composure with his time in the National Hockey League, Pat. And this is certainly an attention getter. We know Corey Crawford is the guy moving forward come playoff time. But right now, Pat, if I'm Joe Quenneville and Scott Darling wins here tonight and he wins in Florida, I keep playing until he loses. It's his net to lose because you need points. And let's not forget about the teams that are sitting behind you right now.
Yes, there are a couple nipping in the Blackhawks' heels now. And speaking of a team that's desperate for points, the Florida Panthers are one. They have surprised a lot of people by hanging in there in the Eastern Conference and within a chance to get a playoff spot.
Well, the only reason they're in a playoff spot, Pat, is that the Boston Bruins had lost 6 games in a row before they came here to the United Center on Sunday. But the Florida Panthers have some really good young players. They have some big, heavy bodies, which is going to be a real task for the Blackhawks. And, oh, yeah, by the way, remember Roberto Luongo? He tends goal now for the Florida Panthers. He'll be in goal tonight for them.
A guy who was a hard worker as a player, Gerard Gallant, is their coach. It's a hard-working team. The Blackhawks had better be ready to match the work ethic tonight as they take on the Panthers in the start of a home-and-home series. These teams have played 29 games since Florida came into the league. The Hawks have 17 wins. They need to add number 18 tonight to stop the bleeding. We'll come back and drop the puck in just a moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Kindly remove all hats to honor U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Lawrence Campbell, U.S. Army veteran Platoon Sergeant Jack Schaller, and joint organist Frank Pellico and soloist Jim Grunielison for the singing of our national anthem.
Twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
Welcome back inside the UC, the Ford goaltending matchup tonight. We told you a little bit about 26-year-old Scott Darling, who tonight plays for just the 8th time ever in an NHL game. The last time he played with the Blackhawks was in the middle of December. And at that point, he played 4 in a row. They were all on the road. He went 3-1 at the tail end of that road trip. You see real good numbers in his NHL duties up until now. At the other end, a familiar foe, Bobby Lou, the former Vancouver netminder who has been well known in this area. But the Florida Panthers this year have 26 wins. Look at that. He's got 22 of them. He's their man. And in 7 of the last 8 games he's played, he's given up 2 or fewer. There is Kevin Pollock. He's paired up with Graham Skilleter as the referees tonight. The linesmen Mark Wheeler and Lonnie Cameron. The Florida Panthers actually have won more games on the road than they have at home. 14 on the road, just 12 in their own rink. But they're at the tail end of a long road trip and very anxious to get back. They've gone through Eastern Canada for the most part of this trip. And they are really excited about getting home and warming up a little bit.
Absolutely.
We're excited about fouling them, by the way.
Right, exactly.
Here come the Hawks. A long shot. Blocked away by Luongo. In behind side, trying to stuff it. Oh, Bobby Lou got to the far post, and Campbell pushed it up the board.
And this first period is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places.
Nick Bjugstad, who's had a terrific season for Florida, got turned around by Hossa. Now the Panthers, good Branson has to turn back. Hawks making a wholesale change as that happens.
Well, they got twin towers on that line there with Bjugstad and former Blackhawk Jimmy Hayes.
He's had a terrific run for Florida. Here's a long shot to Branson. Darling able to get a piece. Now lines up on the boards. Picked up by Ben Smith. Looking to get it out. Good keep by Kulikov. And finally captured by Comiskey. His long pass broken up. Good Branson. Carried on Nordstrom. Put it across the top. Save Luongo on Smith. And a good passing play by the Hawks' 4th line, their first time on the ice.
Oh, nice developing play there. Marcus Kruger did a good job here, Pat, of staying onside, and then Nordstrom gets his puck over to Benny Smith, and you see that puck go on edge at the last second. As soon as the puck hits the stick of Ben Smith, it goes on edge. It goes flat, so he doesn't get a lot on it, but sometimes that puck will come off the stick a little funny, and it might dip and dive, but I think he was too close in order for anything to make it look a little more difficult on Roberto Luongo.
Now in deep, Kane is checked. Panthers able to come up with it, so we can tell you about the AT&T Uber starting lines. You can find them top of your screen. Here's the shot. Darling able to make the save. And the backhander from Trocheck, and the Hawks start back. Rundblad, good pass, finds Richards into the zone. He looks to center, was at the feet of Kane. And now Trocheck starts Florida back. Finally captured by Keith to Rundblad. His long pass got it to Sharp. Stepping into the zone with a wrist shot that's blocked. And Kulikov put it up the boards. This is Garrett Wilson in his first game of the year for Florida. Didn't get very far with it. Back come the Hawks for Stieg, who almost played 100 games while he was a member of the Florida franchise. It's cleared in deep for Stieg there. Spins it back. A long shot. Roosevelt is blocked. Trickled in front. Bickle drive. That's blocked as well by McKenzie.
Like the mindset so far for the Hawks at home here. Anytime they get a lane to the net, Pat, they're just firing the puck towards the net. You never know what it might hit. You might get a second chance or third chance opportunity. You don't want to throw it back at your own net like Comiskey just did there with Roosevelt, but you like the mindset to this point.
The Panthers unable to advance. Picked up by Petrovic, and he sends it to Bjugstad, who gave it back to him. Finally, it's dumped in. Hjalmarsson back. Good pass finding Taves, who put it up the boards. Hossa. Hjalmarsson has to spin back. Seabrook time to take a look. A hot pass finds Taves. He looks for Hossa, but did not connect. Hossa charging in there on the kid Ekblad. I'm going to talk about Aaron Ekblad. He's just been a brilliant rookie for the Florida D-Corps. Now here's Jimmy Hayes. Mentioned he's had a fine year, but that wrister way up high. And taken now by Hjalmarsson. Bounced it ahead. It never quite got to Taves, and the offside whistle goes. A reminder, as you enjoy Colbert, look forward to Miller Time later in the game tonight. It'll be brought to you by Miller Lite.
Hey, Pat, a quick shout out. Last night we were in Griffith, Indiana. We were out at Bridges Scoreboard.
That was great.
Yeah, we had a great signing out there, and met a lot of big Blackhawk fans in that part of the great state of Indiana. And we'd like to thank both Jeff and Scott for having us out there, and also our buddy Jim Carpenter. So hopefully they're tuning in tonight and hoping for a Blackhawk victory. There were a lot of unhappy Hawk fans there last night, so we tried to talk them off the cliff, and but it was a great night, and we appreciate them having us out there at Bridges Scoreboard in Griffith.
Here's a chance for Huberdeau, cutting in. He waits, he shoots, good save. Oh, Darling made a second save, and then Smith might have saved a third attempt. Now it's into the corner, and the puck picked up by Kruger. Was able to put it back into Florida ice. So an early test for Scott Darling. Actually, a couple of tests, and he passed them both. Ekblad trying to work a give and go. It's carried on Fleischman. Ekblad, he tried to center, never got it to Upshaw. And now the Hawks start back.
Oh, what a save. Twice by Darling.
Kane pulls up. Cleared it in behind. And now Fleischman couldn't catch up with it. Hawks keep it in. Centering attempt hacked away from Sharp. And now kept in by Richards to the middle with a shot. That's hit a leg out in front. Richards got it back. Left it for Kane. Now down low, Richards looked to slip it in front. Never got it to Kane. The pass was tipped. Now Kane has it again. Kane for Richards shooting. Luongo shoulder save. Richards again. Great shift here for this Richards line. He dropped it to Keith. Returning to Richards for Keith in the middle. Great shot blocked at Branson, and then the save made by Luongo.
Well, what a shift for Patrick Sharp, Patrick Kane, and Brad Richards. Kane walks the middle. Beautiful pass. And then Patrick Sharp going to the front of the net. We'll get a chance to go back and see that chance on Scott Darling from Jonathan Huberdeau. An incredible save. The Blackhawks, pretty simple, Pat. Get pucks and people to the net.
Chance for the Panthers. A wrist shot. The puck was wobbling on the Wilson. He chipped it wide.
Second 2-on-1 here, Pat, in a matter of 5.5 minutes.
Good Branson's pass tipped to the corner. Rundblad there. Turned it over. Nearly did, but McKenzie couldn't hang on to it. Now it rolls right through the middle, and Keith up the boards for Stieg. He couldn't get the handle. Now does. And Chris Versteegen, as we mentioned, played with the Panthers for a couple of years, played 99 games with them, had 65 points. Shaw for Versteegen deep. Chris Versteegen had his pass tipped away by Hayes. Seabrook had to turn quickly, and Hjalmarsson got it out. Bickle across the ice to Seabrook into the zone. Hossa was offside. Here's Seabrook. And his pass tipped before reaching Hossa. But the Panthers come up with it. Then a good stick side. Ekblad followed up. Now Jokinen kicked it loose. Hayes could only get as far as center.
Hawks would be well suited to get the puck off the boards as quickly as they can, Pat. That's some big bodies out the Florida Panthers. Get the puck to the middle of the ice, force these guys to turn and defend. You want to keep it off the boards as much as you can in the offensive zone.
Nordstrom coming out. Joakim Nordstrom into the offensive zone. Pulled the trigger. Short side save by Luongo.
Oh, there was some room on that short side high. Luongo was very deep in his net. Go to school on that one. You get another opportunity there. You might want to go little chin music on the short side on Roberto Luongo.
Now it's Hjalmarsson. Been a long time since the stoppage. Here comes Sharp looking to drive. Good stick to Branson. Kruger got it in front. Kane. Good save by Luongo. Back to Hjalmarsson. Goes the other way. Seabrook, a long clip shot. Blocker save by Luongo. Now Hjalmarsson trying to keep it in. He did. Sharp to the corner. Threw it around. Patrick Kane. Oh, what a play from behind. Terrible move by Petrovic. An awkward fall to the boards by the NHL's leading point producer. Fortunately starting to scrape himself up off the ice. But that was a bad fall and a bad play by Petrovic. And you can see some discomfort upstairs for 88. That is not looking good.
Major concern in here at the United Center. Patrick Kane takes a nasty hit from behind. No chance for him to protect himself, and goes crashing into the boards, helped off the ice by head athletic trainer Mike Gapsky. But just a little shove. That's a dangerous play. You don't ever want to try to push somebody within a couple of feet from the boards. No chance for him to protect himself, and the boards don't give. And hopefully Patrick Kane will be okay. You see the reaction there from Petrovic. Just a dangerous, reckless hit. And hopefully
Joel,
it's okay.
I'm wondering the same thing Joel is. Why is that only a 2-minute penalty? We have seen before, and Eddie, you've done a lot more games than I have, but quite often, if the player victimized is injured, that adds.
Yeah, he could. Under the discretion of the official, referee Kevin Pollock. You like how the official's over there talking to Joe Quenneville, letting him speak his mind. Smart move there by the official. Yes, the Hawks have a power play, but the concern for sure is Patrick Kane. And this is something where you got to have your leadership on the bench here, Pat, and the coaches, I'm sure, is to have the guys refocus here, because here's an opportunity to get a lead in this game.
Here's a chance, a shot, and a save by Luongo. A second opportunity came back to him. He's able to smother and cover. Shaw got it to the net initially.
Pat, Roberto Luongo is playing very deep in this net. I mean, like, he's almost at the goal line when that shot comes. So, I mean, there's a couple of different approaches. Nordstrom had the chance a little bit earlier, Pat, where he had a lot of room on his short side. So if he's going to back in that quickly, if you can, you want to hold on to that puck a second longer. Patience with the puck, and then go ahead and drill it up high, because he's down already. All that room is upstairs. So something the Blackhawks might want to go to school on when they're shooting on Roberto Luongo.
Taves, Shaw, Hossa in front of Seabrook and Sharp to open up this power play. And of course, normally you'd see 88 out there. He's getting repairs in the Hawks dressing room. Here's Hossa back to Seabrook, one-timer. Hit a leg out in front of Branson, and the Panthers able to get it out.
Nice effort there from Fleischmann.
The Hawks power play just one of the last 12 over 4 games. Here's Hossa kicking to the stick. Marian Hossa with Shaw front of the net. Seabrook a one-timer, and save by Luongo. And the puck up the boards, Jokinen. Good keep by Seabrook, or the Panthers would have been off. Here's Sharp for the shot, walks to Branson. Sharp getting it back. Into the corner, Taves. Banks it back to Seabrook. Looking for a lane, instead going to Sharp. He's centering pass, broken up, good Branson. Kulikov put it up the boards, a good keep, Seabrook to Sharp. Patrick Sharp without a goal in his last 11. Brings it around, here's Hossa. Again, Shaw front of the net, Seabrook to Hossa. Down low, Taves backdoor, Sharp, the pass was intended for the score! The pass was broken up, and I believe Shaw might have tuck it home. They were trying to go back door to Sharp. It was jammed up, and the Hawks have the lead.
Pat, how about the play by Brent Seabrook about 30 seconds ago? The keep-in. Watch the effort here. The Panthers might have a breakaway out of this play. He keeps it in, and then eventually the Hawks will keep the play alive. Move it around a little bit, and then Hossa to Taves. The save from Luongo, and Jonathan Taves, the captain, goes upstairs. But how about the play from Brent Seabrook. If he does not keep that play alive, the Florida Panthers have a breakaway shorthanded, and the Blackhawks with a huge goal on the power play, and they're up 1-0.
So 18 goals for number 19 in red, and the Hawks power play coming through with their MVP candidate unavailable due to injury. So now here come the Panthers off the draw. Ekblad whiffed on a wrist shot. And Hjalmarsson got pressured in the corner. Fleischmann stripped him. Hayes in deep. Jimmy Hayes rings it around Bjugstad. Trying to throw it in front. Picked off by Keith. Goes off the glass. And it winds up back at center. Now the Panthers. Ekblad will turn back. Campbell sending it in. Barkov in against Rosenthal. Boys chipped it in deep. Barkov has picked off for Steve. Able to hack it out to center. Here comes Comiskey up on the play. Tees it up. And he shot it up off the glass.
That just missed to the far side.
Rosenthal couldn't find it at his feet, so now he'll have to chase back. And look at Comiskey, was first up offensively, and he's right back defensively. That brilliant skating ability that he's possessed ever since he first tasted NHL action. Here comes Versteeg looking to drive. He got to the net, and as he tried to pull it to the forehand, he went down, was taken down. There'll be play on. Luongo a little slow to get up after that contact, but looked as if he might be all right. The Panthers dump it in. Funny how about in the corner. Darling almost got caught, and Fleischmann from a bad angle flipped it right through the crease.
That almost hit Rundblad and went into the net.
Now Rundblad with a little bit of time on the other side. Tipped it up the boards. It's hacked out of the zone. Shaw bangs it deep. Good Branson got together with Bickle, who won the puck.
Good effort.
Now Wilson got it out of there for the visitors. Kochak into the corner.
Seabrook lost the stick here, Pat.
Yeah, now a good play by Shaw. He gave him his. They're both right-hand shots. Here's a backhand attempt. And a save rebound off the side of the goal from Thornton. Now the Hawks get it back. Here's Hossa getting out. Cleared it ahead to Tay. He's got no help. Everybody was changing. Well, the Panthers able to converge, and Ekblad.
Where'd everybody go?
Yeah, something I said. That's icing Florida.
Well, fans, don't miss your chance to catch all the exciting Blackhawks action from in between the player benches. Bid on the CME Group seats through the online CME Group seats auction. For more info, visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com. And a special early happy birthday, Pat, to Ethan Dahl from Inverness, Illinois. He will turn 10 years old tomorrow. The guy that I think has very good start so far in this game is number 10, Pat. Patrick Sharp's been in front of the net. He's stopping in front. Had a couple of chances on that power play. Looking to get off the schneid with only 2 5-on-5 goals all season long. He's got 10 on the year. 7 of those 10 are on the power play.
Derek McKenzie checked by Rundblad. Saad one-hands it out of there. And Petrovich able to get back, then turns it over. Here's Sharp moving in with a drive. He fired it high and wide. Rebound to Hayes, clearing to center. Jokin in there. Steps into the Chicago end with a wrist shot that's blocked. Hawks on the counterattack. Smith leading him up. Now to Nordstrom going wide. His shot steered away by Luongo. Nordstrom put it back to Hjalmarsson. Now the Panthers, Jokinen able to clear his end. And now the Hawks, Smith chipped it deep. Kulikov rings it around. That's going to be held in Rosenthal. Counter attempt deflecting to Comiskey. Now in behind. Kruger got checked. It's picked up by Smith. Ben Smith to the middle with a shot and a save. Luongo And the offensive frustration continues for Ben Smith, who's now gone 25 games without a goal. Not the case for the captain, though. Converging on the power play, and he put his team in front.
Professional grade saves, and an incredible save right there, and then right there with the left pad by Scott Darling. It's a 0-0 game when that happens. What a move there by Huberdeau. And Huberdeau stays right with it. Watch the left pad, the long left leg of Scott Darling.
And talking to Joe Quenneville today about Scott Darling, and he's expressed this before when he saw him earlier in the season. Just the size factor itself. I mean, he's a big guy. We all know that, but he just looks bigger in the net. Yeah. And, of course, he really... And his teammates talked about this, too, when he was here earlier. His composure. Sure. He doesn't seem to be a guy who's going to get easily flustered. But at this level, you have got to have that.
Well, there's some games around the National Hockey League, but to me, that's the save of the night. I mean, that's... You know, the team is struggling. Yep. 10-10-3 over the course of since January 1st, and you're asked to come up and stop the bleeding, so to speak. And a little bit of pressure there, and he did on that save there on Huberdeau. He's a really good goal scorer.
Boys threw it in front, picked off by Comiskey, held in Goodbranson. Well, the Panthers dig it out, a centering attempt, laid there in front, and a diving Darling. Hey, Darling Doe, and he covered it up.
That's another double D.
Speaking of that, you know, you mentioned our great night last night at the scoreboard in Griffith, Indiana. Terrific place. We saw some old friends there too. But for those of you watching the game, the next round's on Double D. Tee him up. But hey, we saw our old buddy Dan McNeil, soon to be
great to see
Mr. Morning Drive
good to see
coming up. Yeah, good for him. Smith couldn't pick it up on the boards. Campbell back. And now the Panthers able to get it out of their end. Florida, by the way, making a trade today, which sent Sean Bergenheim to Minnesota. One of the teams right now on the outside looking in, but one of the teams that's had a good little run of late. They're not all that far behind the Blackhawks. There's a couple starting to nip at the Hawks' heels if they don't get things turned around here in short order.
Devin Dubnyk. Everybody wanted Mike Yeo to be out as the coach, and when you're not getting any goaltending, Pat, it's tough enough to win it's tough enough to win a National Hockey League, but when you're not getting any goaltending and you're giving up soft goals every game, and all of a sudden you bring in Devin Dubnyk, and now you're within 5 points of a wild card spot. Mike Yeo's doing his job. He's got that team to overachieve over the course of the last couple of years. I think we're both very impressed with the job he's done. Big hit by Bickle right in between the benches.
He put Kampfer on his wallet. Well, the Hawks able to dump it in. Shaw out of the corner is met by Bukestad. And Goodbranson goes off the boards to get it out. Bickle took a big run at Goodbranson. And there's a lot of him. He's 6'5", Goodbranson. And now back into the zone. Here's Versteeg. Wrister gloves save easily made by Luongo.
You got Thornton now grabbing Bickle as he was trying to get off the ice. Two big hits by Brian Bickle.
He put Kampfer down, and then later in the shift, unloaded on the big D-man, Goodbranson.
It's United Center up at press level. I'm Tracy Myers for CSN Chicago.com. Well, the Blackhawks have struggled lately, but Patrick Sharp believes the team has confidence to get out of it. So does their ex-teammate, Brian Campbell. Campbell said they're struggling, but when it's crunch time, they turn it on. Those guys have played a lot of hockey, and to be at their top level as much as they can is a challenge. At the end of the day, they'll be fine. Pat and Eddie, back to you.
Thank you, Tracy. Well, you can follow Tracy Myers, our Blackhawks insider, all season long on CSNChicago.com, presented by Nationwide's Jeff Vukovich. Click Jeff Vuk. That's click JeffVuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. We met Jeff Vukovich here
we did
a couple of weeks ago. Appreciate all he does in supporting Blackhawk hockey and Comcast Sportsnet, and did offer us some opportunity to go to a few Cubs games this year, so we might have to hook him up on that one.
Yeah. Well, hey,
Or hook us up and we'll look him up.
Well, we appreciate him. He told us he's never had the attention-getting reads from anybody else that he gets from the great Olczyk. So right now, I think pretty much anywhere you want to sit at Wrigley Field, you're good. Right now, Kulikov didn't connect on a pass, icing Florida.
Hey, Patty, another birthday shout-out to Bev Hamstra. Was out there in Mokina, Illinois. A happy birthday and a belated happy birthday to Troy Trepanier out there in Oswego. Belated happy birthday from February 10th. So happy birthday to one and all.
A 1-0 Hawks lead into the late part of the first as Vinny Hayes threw it out to center. But Branson has to turn back. Kulikov rolled it out of there. Nick Jomerson put it on the stick of Brandon's side. Taves going to get there first. The Panthers didn't seem to know who was going to play that puck. The Hawks get it. Here's Hossa. Here's Hossa. Dropping it back. Then got it back. Hossa's wrist shot never got to the net. Bounce to Roosevelt. He dropped that out to Saad. Tees up a long shot. He just missed the far post. Hossa gets it back. Comiskey had a bouncer escape and that went out. Hawks have to go back and tag up. And they'll do more than that. They're going to go change. Oh, good Branson from his own end. 3 minutes left in the first period. The Panthers not a team that scores a lot. And really of late been very troublesome for him offensively. Really say that about both these teams. Usually the Blackhawks 4 straight games have scored 2 goals or less. And as far as the Panthers go, they come in here with 2 wins in their last 7. And in 5 of the last 7 games they've played, they've scored nothing or 1. Well, pretty hard to win when that's all the lamplighting you're doing.
Put some pressure on your goaltender when you're not scoring.
Rundblad for Richard. Into the zone, Sharp. It rolled away from him. Thornton unable to get it out. And Richard with Duncan Keith. Threw it into the corner. Versteeg is checked. Came up with it, but his pass was tipped. And Campbell will dump it for a change.
And Campbell saw Versteeg coming. He got rid of that puck really quick.
Now Hossa goes around the boards. Nobody's on this side. Held in, but stripped away from Petrovic. And Hawks get it out.
Good play by Keith there. Look out. Well, if you're just joining us, earlier in the first period, Patrick Kane took a nasty hit, pushed from behind, falls awkwardly into those sideboards, and is not returned. But just that subtle little push about 7 feet away from the boards. Those boards don't give, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, and hopefully Patrick Kane's going to be okay, but that is a dangerous hit, and wait to hear from the Blackhawks on the status of Patrick Kane moving forward.
Right now, Seabrook goes up the boards. Hossa got turned around, but it's carried on by Taves. Final minute of the first. Taves looking to drive. Slipped it in front. Luongo broke up the pass. And Bugstad the other way. His stick lifted from behind by the captain. And the Hawks take over. Kruger got it deep. Shaw arriving first. Left it for Kruger. Missed him with a feed. Otherwise might have been a shooting chance. And back come the Panthers. A lead pass out of the reach of Barkov. And the Hawks get it out.
Good anticipation there from Scott Darling. Panthers have had some chances, Pat. They've flown their forwards in behind the Blackhawks defenseman a couple of times. A couple of 2-on-1s in the first, 10 minutes of the game, Pat? I mean, and then there, Barkov flew in behind, and Darling read that nicely. He's going to make a stop there, face off to the right of the starting goaltender here tonight. Well, Thursday night, it'll be a rematch as the Hawks will head down to South Florida, where I hear the temperature's a little warmer than here in Chicago. The Hawks will take on the Panthers. Chevy Blackhawks pregame live starts at 6 on CSN Chicago.
So we'll see the Panthers on Thursday, then right over to Tampa Bay for a battle on Friday night. I like it. We've talked a little bit about this, Eddie. I don't know about you. I like when a Western team plays an Eastern team to try to get the two games together quickly. Maybe not back-to-back, but, you see them so infrequently. Maybe a little rivalry can be generated within a week or two. Hits like happened to Kane earlier is going to generate some attention. That's the guy that did it, is Petrovic, and the Hawks circle around him. A little surprised there was no response immediately when the play happened. But here at the end of the period, the Hawks are reminding 22-year-old Alex Petrovic, don't be doing that.
Well, look who ends up hitting him, Pat.
Yes.
It's Patrick Sharp, and that's what you call leadership. That's where you see an opportunity to go ahead and send a message. Good, clean, hard hit. And a good period, Pat. 15 shots on goal for the Blackhawks in that first period. Darling with that huge save on Huberdeau, not once but twice early in this game, really gave the Hawks a chance to settle into their game. And just for the record, if we did have a couple of days off in Florida, I think that would be okay, because Gulfstream is running right now, by the way. So.
Okay, so if you're late on Thursday, all right. All right, the Blackhawks outshot the Panthers 15-8 with a pretty solid opening 20, and the only goal coming on a Blackhawks power play, which happened after two great saves in a row by Darling. Then Taves on the power play off a scramble scores his 18th for the lead.
Blackhawks hockey on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers. Visit buyhyundai.com. BMO Harris Bank. We're here to help. Ford, who invites you to visit your local Ford store or localfordstores.com. Corona Extra. Find your beach. And by Kia. Visit mykiachicago.com to learn more.
Well, welcome back to the United Center. The Blackhawks lead the Florida Panthers 1-0 as we get ready for the second period. Well, earlier this evening, Alexandra Dusmanis Curtis, the executive VP and head of U.S. and PC Retailing Banking at BMO Harris Bank, presented the award for the BMO Harris Bank Youth Hockey Player Coach and Volunteer of the Month. Also, we saw Annie Kam as the terrific youth hockey director of the Blackhawks there as well. Cole Walsh of the Joliet Jaguars is the Player of the Month. Won the Nihil Gold A President's Cup in 2014-15. And Willis Griffin is the coach for the Hinsdale Central High School. Led Hinsdale to their first Illinois West League championship in 2014. And Tom Cotter volunteers this time for St. Patrick High School Hockey Club. Congratulations to the BMO Harris Bank and Chicago Blackhawks award winners for the month. Well, time now for the Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois. And they've teamed up with the Blackhawks and moved two lucky fans closer to the action as part of tonight's Blue Seat Upgrade Experience. Don't forget to bring your Blue Cross and Blue Shield card for your chance to win. Blue Cross, through it all. And congratulations to tonight's winners.
Well, we get word from the Blackhawks that 88 will not return, upper body. He will not be back in the game tonight after that dangerous, cheap play from Alex Petrovic. We talk about it a lot. That area, kind of a no man's land, just a couple of feet from the boards. No chance to protect yourself. And you can see it didn't take much, but it's a dirty play.
It's one that's preventable, one that the league will certainly look at. And again, all you young hockey players out there, is that you get in that situation, you cannot push a player. Doesn't take a lot, as my great partner just made mention of.
Underway of the second, Jokinen got it to the goal. It was sort of a floater, but soaked up by Scott Darling.
And the second period is brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers. Keep going back, Pat, to that save by Scott Darling. Jonathan Huberdeau, not once but twice. Looking for a little bit of stability, looking for a big save at a key time, and Darling was able to do that in the first period.
Toews for Seabrook, who was checked right away. Ekblad able to roll it loose, and here come the Panthers. Bjugstad pulls up, got away from his check, rolled it across. Here's a long shot, kicked away Darling. Rebound held in by the Panthers. Here's Ekblad, a blast off the skate of Seabrook to Hossa, and he sends Saad out of the zone. Jokinen could only get as far as center, taken over now by Roosevelt. He'll wait for a change to be completed by the Hawks. Now clear it ahead. Campbell brings it around the boards. And it's dumped back into Chicago ice. Barkov in against Comiskey. Support there from Kruger, but the Panthers get it back. Boys down low. Brad Boys mishandles it, and Marcus Kruger put it on the stick of Ben Smith. He's going to get into the offensive zone. Smith got to get to the middle. Could not that time. Oh, it came back through the middle, but Barkov there, or I should say Kulikov there, and he cleared it. Smith gets back in, was stripped, and the Panthers, Huberdeau rolled it in. Barkov with a wrist shot, good stick, both from Rundblad and Keith. It's out of play.
And from our Xfinity telestrator, Pat, we've seen the Florida Panthers. There's the puck, and we've seen them really try to fly the zone. Watch the anticipation here by Michael Roosevelt, and when he does this, look at all this open ice. He thinks the pass is going wide, right? But, I mean, that almost ends up on the tape of Barkov, and we saw two odd-man situations in the first period for Florida. They've flown the zone. They missed an opportunity on that shorthanded chance. So something to keep an eye on here, that they're trying to get in behind the Blackhawks defense through the neutral zone.
Shot went off the side of the net there, and Versteeg hammered it out to center. It's going to go all the way down for icing Chicago.
Well, win the chance to watch warm-ups from the penalty box. Text Jewel to BHawks. That's 242-957 to enter your child into the Jewel View from the penalty box sweepstakes. Your child will win 4 100-level game tickets, admission for 4 into the penalty box, commemorative photo recognition on the Blackhawks scoreboard. So if you get 4 people in the box at the same time, that's like 8 minutes, partner. I knew that abacus would come in large.
Better not be any misconduct.
Put your socks back on.
Now the Panthers move ahead. Comes in by Thornton. Picked up by Rundblad. Sean Thornton keeping it in. Turned around by Richards. Now held in Camper, but he handed it right to Richards, who got it back into the Florida end. Sharp with a long blast. Missed the target. Held in Rundblad. Got pushed by Upshaw, but now it is knocked away, and Panthers able to clear their end. Duncan Keith, the last 3 games, has 3 assists. Got this to Versteeg. Now in behind, it's taken by Bickle. Then Richards looking to drive, and McKenzie forced him in behind the goal. And this one deflected up high and way out of play.
Well, time now for Hyundai What to Look For. The Canadians and the Ducks swap forwards. The former Blackhawk Nick Leddy signs a huge contract, 7 years, $38.5 million. And as my great Hall of Fame partner made mention a little bit earlier, these Florida Panthers traded Sean Bergenheim to the Minnesota Wild for a draft pick. And the trade deadline coming up in 6 days on March the 2nd, when the Hawks will be hosting the well-managed Carolina Hurricanes. Had to give a little plug there for my buddy Ron Francis and one of my younger brothers, Rick Olczyk. All I can think of.
Brilliant leadership. Right now the Panthers work it back to the line. A long clip shot never got through from Ekblad. And the Hawks had it, didn't get it out. Thorne lines it around. Ekblad pinching. This kid just turned 19. Aaron Ekblad, and he is one of the great young players in the game. Probably doesn't get as much notoriety as an offensive star, but this guy's going to be a fixture on the Florida blue line. They hope forever.
Yeah, he seems to be, in looking at him, Pat, he looks like a guy that's going to be able to play 30 minutes a night and not even bat an eyelash. And has some ties here to Chicago as well, Pat. He's cousins with our very own Pat Boyle.
Well, he grew up, I believe, in Windsor, didn't he? And grew up because of that, as a fan of the Red Wings, and wears number 5 in part because of the great, soon-to-be Hall of Famer Nick Lidstrom. Pretty good guy to try to pattern yourself after.
Yeah, and he's on he's on a pretty good list there. With our buddy Howie Philhousley, now assistant coach with the Nashville Predators, and anytime that your name could be on a graphic with number 4 Bobby Orr, that's one you're gonna put in your wallet. He looks like he's going to be a stalwart on the back end for a long time.
Hayes with a chip and chase. He got there, jammed it loose. Bjugstad check. Hold it back to the line. Good Branson's pass attempt deflecting out of play. I was talking earlier tonight, Eddie, with the Hall of Fame, former Hall of Fame, well, he's a former defenseman. He is a Hall of Famer, Denny Potvin, who, our good friend who does the color for Florida television and been around the game a long time and certainly pays close attention to, especially young D-men. He had a hard time describing exactly the type of player that Ekblad is, but he's got a little bit of almost every great D-man. You know, I mean, he's not Paul Coffey, but when a game needs some offense, he can skate like that. I think he referenced Larry Robinson. He referenced Brad Clark. I mean, you know, guys that are sort of legendary defensemen. Well, if he can live up to any of that, they got quite a player in Florida.
Probably put his name in there as well. Denny Potvin was one heck of a defenseman.
Absolutely. He was kind of mad to have to tell me that number 5 really was for Lindstrom. Nordstrom going wide. In on Ekblad. Nordstrom hit the deck. And couldn't make anything happen that time against the terrific young D-man. Now it's back to run by the long shot. Steered away Luongo. Picked up poise. Cleared it to center.
Only one shot on goal, Pat, in the second period here for the Hawks. Now they have 2. That last chance was their second, so let us start playing 200 feet away from Scott Darling.
Chris Versteeg left it for Patrick Sharp. Now a nice move. Oh, Hjalmarsson trying to get to that. Half to the bouncing puck, and that required a good stop from Luongo. Luongo stopping Hjalmarsson, who made something out of nothing in that sequence, but we played 6 minutes here in the second, and the Hawks up 1.
Full time now for our Kia drive to the net, and I remember watching this take place, Pat. I was living in Stratford, Ontario as a young aspiring hockey player. Wayne Gretzky. And some high praise there when you can find yourself eclipsing the great Phil Esposito in a single season goal record by passing 76, and that year he ended up with 92 goals.
He didn't
just
break the record.
Yeah.
Shattered it.
He had 92 goals. He had 212 points, I believe. I just remember the 212 for some reason, because that's why I wish my weight was right now. But at the end, I mean, 92 goals. Just absolutely incredible. You know, I was looking, Pat. I mean, we might be hard-pressed for a 100-point scorer this year.
Oh, I think you're right.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's shaping up that way. Looks like we're going to have maybe several 50-goal scores. It's hard to be sure of that at this point, but
Yeah, I would say I like those chances much better than seeing, than seeing a 100-point scorer this year. Well, congratulations to the Midwest Blackbirds Gold Bike 2 team. And there we play out of St. John, Indiana. Their coach Mark Nelson had a great regular season and had a 6-0 record over this past weekend. So congratulations to the Midwest Blackbirds Gold Bike 2 team.
Loose in front. Here's a shot blocked from court. Rebound went wide. Now the Panthers, McKenzie, able to get away from Rundblad. Derek McKenzie. We're going to have a Hawks penalty. Somebody brushed the stick over. There was a broken stick on the ice, and I guess it was Bickle that pushed it over near the puck carrier. He can't do that. And the Panthers are going to go to the power play.
Well, Brian Bickle came on the ice, Pat, for Patrick Sharp. Well, Brian Bickle, this is going to be an interference call. And from our Xfinity Telestra, there's Brian Bickle. Now the puck carrier is coming into this area, and I don't realize, or I don't think Brian Bickle, are they going to call a penalty shot?
Oh, they are. There's a penalty shot being set up. Penalty shot is the call.
Yeah, Pat, I've seen this both ways. I mean, if you see the attacking forward, that's going to create an offensive chance. Now, maybe in the estimation of the official, that's exactly what they were looking at. But I've seen that happen before where there's only been an interference call. So
Derek McKenzie was going back towards the blue line. Now he had full control, but it's McKenzie going to be given a penalty shot against Scott Darling. The Hawks with a 1-0 lead. Here comes Derek McKenzie. He's never had one of these before with speed, and he missed the net.
Well, there's McKenzie making an offensive play, and does a nice job of avoiding that stick. And again, Pat, I've seen it both ways. And where a player has the puck in the offensive zone, somebody shoots a glove at a guy that has the puck. Yep. But if the referee feels that it really breaks the offensive player, creates an offensive chance, that under his discretion. So missed opportunity there for the Florida Panthers, and Scott Darling standing tall.
Back to the play as the Hawks able to clear it to the Florida end. Kemper rolled it over to the other side. It's tapped out of there by Hayes. Back comes Saad into the zone. Brandon Saad left it for Hossa. He drives away from a check, tried to shoot it and a save, and another save on tape. Now Saad. Oh, Luongo! A terrific point-blank stop. And now Hossa from the corner in deep. Taves. Saad trying to pry it loose. Instead, it's Kampfer for Florida. And he fired a long pass to Jokinen, who could not hang on to it. Now they get it in. Petrovic is checked on the wall. Seabrook. Bounce it back to center ice. Bjugstad checked by Shaw. Carried on Huberdeau. Jonathan Huberdeau pulls up. This pass read perfectly by Chalmerson. And out comes Nordstrom. Joakim Nordstrom passed it to himself off the board. Goodbranson stayed with him, though. It's Kruger in deep.
Like the thought process there of Nordstrom. Just chip and chase. Get the puck down low.
Now Kruger working against Barkov. Goodbranson came over to win the puck. And the Panthers able to get it out. And his boys cleared that. Shaw took a big run at him, but we play on.
That's exactly what happened at the end of one of the periods the other day against Boston.
Here's a chance for the Hawks at the side of the goal. Luongo able to deny Shaw. He didn't seem to be quite sure what he wanted to do. But the puck then deflecting out of play.
Yeah, now the officials are huddling up, Pat, to see if it was deflected or not. Yeah, the faceoff's going to stay It's going to come outside. It was deflected. The official was starting to make a call of delay a game, and Shaw wants the puck, but in that situation, if you want it, you got to one-time it. You got to one-time that puck. Comiskey has a chance right in the middle of the ice. I think he's got to shoot the puck, Pat. You got to fire it. How about this save by Roberto Luongo? Look at all the room upstairs. Here comes Brandon Saad. He just gets in a little bit too snug. Look at all that room, Pat, on the glove side up high. So again, Blackhawks in tight got to think about the ears. They got to think about the top of the shoulders of Roberto Luongo because he's down, he's deep in his net, and that's really the only area of the ice. Terrific save. But get your head up and look for putting the puck up around the shoulders.
Yeah, they are hard shots to make, but by virtue of video replay, we've had several looks like that, where there is some space up top. But a difficult shot to execute, which is exactly why that butterfly style dominates goaltending for the last several years. Take away the bottom of the net, make it harder on him to go upstairs. Here come the Panthers. Upshaw weaving in. A good back check by Richards to clear. Grunblad to Keith. Pass was broken up. Wilson back the other way. Grunblad steal it, then gave it away. Here's Thornton to the goal. A diving play by Darling to prevent a shot at 10 point blank from Thornton.
Good recognition to come out and put some pressure on the big fourth line winger.
Now Bickle able to come out of there with it. Brings it around for Shaw. Andrew Shaw is met by Petrovic. Now taken by Thornton, who's able to clear to center. Going to be a hand pass if Shaw touches it. He got knocked down. And here come the Panthers. McKenzie was going for a change. That's who the pass was intended for. Hawks get it in. Kemper pressured by Bickle. It's around to Hayes. Now Bickle took a run at Petrovic. The Panthers finally do get it out of there. Seabrook to Hossa. Now Seabrook carries on into the zone for Saad. Brandon Saad pulls up. Takes a look. Put it to the man on a change. Comiskey. He couldn't tee it up. Saad has it back. Shooting. Blocker save. Luongo through a Taves screen. Now it's taken by Taves in behind. Donovan Taves back to Rosabal. Saad from the corner. Drive. Centered it. Oh, it's deflected. Now a shot went wide. Hossa. It's Saad again. Back to Rosabal. Then the Comiskey for Hossa the shot. Who missed the net? Luongo's lost his stick. It's picked up by Saad. Walks in front. Centered it. Oh, too hot to handle for Comiskey. And now a penalty coming up here against Hossa, I believe.
Hossa knocked the stick away from Roberto Luongo, Pat, as he was getting ready to pick up the stick.
So the Blackhawks with pressure get a little carried away. Hossa for interference, kicking the loose stick free. It'll be shorthanded when we come back.
Well, visit the Blackhawks on Facebook to enter to win 200 level tickets to the March 2nd Blackhawks game against the Carolina Hurricanes, as well as a coffee for the Chicago Blackhawks legend. Going to go back to the penalty by Marian Hossa, Pat. There's the stick. There's Marian Hossa. Luongo's going to reach for this stick, and as he goes to reach for it, Marian Hossa pokes it away. Right call made by the official. Power play chance for the Panthers.
Their power play 2 of the last 20. They try to set one. Here comes across Bjugstad. Dropped it back. Ekblad, a long shot. Deflect. Oh, and a save made. Darling. That appeared to be a redirect and a screen. What a stop.
Well, I thought Nick Bjugstad had a chance to shoot that puck there, Pat, but he got it back to Ekblad. Screen in front, and then look at Darling. I mean, that's all positioning. He's looking over the right shoulder of Barkov, and he catches it on the left side. That's all fundamentals there.
Panthers win the draw. Loose puck comes to Bjugstad. He fires. Shoulder save by Darling. Rebound loose. And the Hawks able to get it. Smith to clear. The Hawks PK still leading the NHL, but have given up 2 goals against in back-to-back games. That's never happened all year till now. Well, the Panthers with the opportunity here. The puck dumped in, then dumped right back out.
Those last couple of chances, Pat, for the Florida Panthers because of direct face-off wins by the Panthers to be able to create some chances. And you want to turn that around. You got to start winning some draws.
Good stick on the ice by Smith to knock it loose, and Kruger able to take a look. Let me just clarify. Hawks have been in first place for so long. I kind of assumed they still were. They've fallen to second now in the NHL PK list. And a near steal by Saad. He's able to clear it with 40 left on the man advantage for Florida.
Good stick positioning there from Brandon Saad.
Now Boys gets in. Campbell, the Boys, his pass went off a skate.
Tremendous pressure there from Nicholas Hjalmarsson. That's that first, Pat? First 30 seconds of the power play where they had their chances and not much going on for the Panthers.
Campbell gets this in but couldn't make anything happen. Well, they battle in the corner. It comes loose to Hjalmarsson with time to take a look. He'll clear it as the penalty expires. That a terrific PK. And the only chances the Hawks gave up, as you mentioned, came off a face-off win for Florida. But every other time they tried to dump it, they never got it back. McKenzie got spilled at center ice. Now Roosevelt. Ahead for Versteeg. He's able to clear it to center. Here's Richards into the zone. Centered it. Sharp. The shot. Blocked in front of the rebound. They score! Oh, Thornton made the block and then right to Versteeg. Fortunate bounce for the home side. Chris Versteeg bites the hand that once fed him. It's 2-0.
Patrick Sharp is going to get an assist on this, Pat, and he's had one of his better games in a long time. He gets himself to the middle of the ice. Yeah, the puck gets deflected, but when you get to the middle of the ice, you draw attention. Look at all the players that go on Sharp. There are 3 players within about 10 feet of Patrick Sharp, and the former Florida Panther comes up and picks up the garbage. And there's a couple of happy humans in that celebration pack, and the Hawks with a huge goal after a strong penalty kill.
Yeah.
And the Hawks up by 2.
Here's a corner battle. Who's going to come up with it?
There's those magnetic boards again that working really well.
Finally, it's Goodbranson. He'll lead the Panthers up the ice with a dump in. Barkov, over shot. Good save. That was off a Hawk stick. Might have been Richards that inadvertently tipped it. A shot from a tough angle by Barkov. It wound up being a tough stop for Darling, but he made it. Then his team iced it. It was the 500th Blackhawks point for Patrick Sharp. Been waiting for that designation for a while, or that milestone to be reached. He had gone 8 in a row without a point, but you said it, Eddie. This is as good as he's looked and as much as he's generated in some time.
Yeah, and it's all started from the first couple shifts of the game where he went to the front of the net, standing in front, hanging around a little bit. He's had good jump and a step, couple of finish checks as well. Remember the big hit that he had at the end of the period there on Petrovic, the guy that took Kane out of this game. So a good, strong performance to this point. And Chris Versteeg with lucky goal number 13 on the air. The Hawks with a 2-0 lead. And we'll be back. I think these guys might be going ice fishing with those lids on. You gotta love it, though. On March the 2nd, when the Blackhawks take on the Carolina Hurricanes, the first 10,000 fans that enter the United Center will receive a Blackhawks team card pack. presented by Upper Deck. You still get bubble gum with baseball cards and hockey cards, partner? Do you know?
You're asking the wrong guy.
All right, let's somebody.
I hope so, though.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Well, visit ChicagoBlackhawks.com for ticket information. And speaking of the Carolina Hurricanes, they took care of business against the Philadelphia Flyers, and the Flyers have worked themselves back into a playoff position as well. Carolina won that game tonight, 4-1.
All right, now Rundblad to Keith. The Hawks reorganize, and Keith moved it ahead for Stieg, able to bang it deep. Ekblad back. Sharp kept it in. Now Versteeg and Campbell work in behind. Versteeg came up with it. Ekblad almost bear hugged him. Now there is going to be a penalty for Stieg, for Rundblad kicks to the stick. And got checked in the corner. Panthers get it. Whistle goes. And now in front of the net, Richards got going. Richards got tangled up with Ekblad, who seemed to give him a jolt. Don't know what had led up to that.
You got the elder skatesman on one side and the youngster on the other. Well, I thought Ekblad could have had a penalty a little bit earlier right there. That penalty wasn't called yet, Pat.
Yes.
And now right there it's called. And the right call made by the official. Good effort there from Chris Versteeg. And then after all that happened,
so that initial penalty to Ekblad that Eddie just showed you will give the Hawks a power play. Richards and Ekblad will each get roughing penalties, but the initial call to Ekblad for holding will send the Hawks to the man advantage.
And somebody will have to serve that extra 2 minutes for Ekblad. And the Hawks will have that man advantage. And you got yourself an opportunity here, Pat. I know there's lots of hockey to be played, but you got a chance to win the game right now, because we know how offensively challenged the Florida Panthers are. This is a huge power play. You want to put doubt in their minds, this is the time right now.
Panthers get this draw, but Seabrook battles to keep it in, but the Panthers come up with a puck. McKenzie clear.
Mindset should be just like it's been an even strength for the most part here tonight, Pat. Lanes open, get it to the net.
Taves for Hossa, kicks to the stick, drives for Taves in deep. He rings it around. Sharp scurries to keep it in. Sharp goes back to the captain. Taves the shot. Oh, that hit the iron in behind Luongo. Now Seabrook leaves for Hossa. Takes a look for the long blast. That's blocked. Luongo, then he made a second save. After stopping Hossa, he denied Taves in close. Taves works the boards and then had it taken away. Kulikov will be able to clear at the line. A minute remains on the Chicago power play. Now Brandon Saad. Going to get it to the middle, deflecting to Sharp, but his shot off Jokinen, and then the netting for a whistle.
Well, as you called it, partner, Jonathan Taves with a real good look. Walks right in, shoot mentality, screen in front of the net. Luongo down, and as he's going down, where does the puck go? Off the post. Good screen in front of the net there from Andrew Shaw. Jonathan Taves going to school up on the replay inside the United Center, looking up on the Jumbotron.
Kampfer able to get that one out. Here comes Keith. Versteeg looks for Rundblad. Here's Versteeg from the corner. Goes the other way. It's taken by Keith. Gonna leave it for Saad. Here's the wrister. Stick save, Luongo. Rebound, Kampfer got checked. Lines up in deep. Rundblad's down there. Now Saad. Dropped it back to Keith. Again to Saad. He walks, goes down low. Versteeg looks for Rundblad back door. The pass came to the blue paint. Panthers jam it loose. And they'll clear at the length. That finishes the Florida penalty. So both teams are at full strength with a minute and a half remaining in the second period. Nordstrom into the zone was checked right away. Good Branson. Here's it off the glass and out. Center pass broken up by Kruger, and out comes Smith. He got checked at center. Seabrook. Here's it ahead. A bouncing puck for Ben Smith. He looks to center. It was at the feet of Kruger. Final minute of the second. Here's a long shot. Jalmerson hit traffic in front to Campbell. And Barkov got it out. Quickly back inside, was checked by Kulikov. Now the Hawks. Here's Taves with the C split. He cuts into the back. What a save along the rebound. And the shot blocked. Goal might have been saved by Kulikov on the second chance. And the Panthers, Hayes dumped it back in. It's going to be handled long enough or held long enough by Darling for a whistle. And Roosevelt didn't like what Hayes did, and he gave one right in a dangerous spot. And I'm actually shocked that the official's arm didn't go up right there.
While that was going on, Pat, you had Huberdeau and Hossa going at it out at center ice. Jonathan Taves coming off the bench. Kulikov thinks he's going to make the pass here, Pat, and he goes for the pass, and Taves just says thank you very much. Tries to go to the backhand. What a stop there, and as you mentioned, Kulikov saves a goal. Side with a second chance opportunity. Oh, the left pad of Luongo stops it. And there are going to be some penalties. Huberdeau and Hossa, who are behind the play, are going to offset here with just under 24 seconds remaining in the second period.
Well, the Blackhawks, Glenville looking to go 10 games over 500 here at home. This homestand that a lot of people felt held so much promise going into it has produced only 7 points out of 14 up until now. Looking for a solid finish to a long stretch at home. Here's a keep by Gudbranson. But he's checked right away, and it's Seabrook with 10 left. Bearing to center ice. Well, the Panthers will let time expire as the second period comes to an end. The Blackhawks had 12 shots in the second period. The Panthers had 8. And through 2, it's 27 Chicago shots, 16 Florida shots only. And the Blackhawks will take a couple-goal lead. A penalty shot for McKenzie, which he missed the net with a 1-0 score. The Blackhawks then got a Chris Versteeg tally to double their lead late in period 2. So it's 2-0 in Chicago after 40.
This period of Blackhawks hockey was brought to you by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Honda dealers, proud sponsors of Blackhawks hockey on Comcast Sportsnet.
Talk to assistant coach Mike Kitchen tonight, brought to us by Acura. After a couple of one-sided losses, Kitch, I know you guys were looking for a particular response. How's the response been from your eyes so far tonight?
Well, I like our team, the way our team's playing. I mean, I think we're playing the right way on both sides of the puck. We're getting the puck up the ice as quick as we can, and we're getting some zone time in there. One area we could be a little bit better is face-offs. Got to get a little stronger there where wingers and defense help out. And those scramble draws, we come up with the puck so we can get possession right off the bat.
Hey, Kitch, can you elaborate a little bit on that with the face-off aspect? I mean, we've got a lot of coaches out there and young hockey players that watch these games, and, you know, you're 0 zeroing in and saying, look, it's just not always the centerman's fault when he loses a draw.
That's right. You just can't. But there's a lot of scramble draws out there. There's a lot in the gets in the centerman's skate. What we'd like to have is have our forwards go forward and our defensemen go forward on those draws. Take it 1 or 2 steps forward, and you'll win those battles. So you get it back to your own, either to the defense, and then you start your breakout or start your regroup.
I don't know if the PK needs a boost, Kitch, but there have been a couple of games where he had a couple goals against. He had a PK tonight that was really good, except for a face-off loss, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's been okay. I mean, it's like specialty teams. You go through some bad spells there, whether it's a bad break, I mean, there's a couple of goals that we wish we could have had back. But other than that, we've had a pretty good year so far, and it's just something that we wouldn't be able to teach anything as coaches if we didn't have a few blips along the way. Keeps us in business.
Always the teacher. Thanks for a couple minutes, Kitch.
Great PK. Keep it going, Kitch.
Thanks, guys.
All right, 4 against 4 as we open up the third period. And the Panthers able to bounce it deep. Bjugstad works the corner. He got the puck, and it lines up back at center.
And this third period is brought to you by Chevy and ChevyDriveChicago.com.
Hanford tried a shot that Hjalmarsson blocked. It's cleared to center ice. Campbell. They step into the zone. Camper to net. To the net. The puck cleared in behind. Camper missed it. Now Roosevelt fires a long pass. It just jumps away from Sharp. The Panthers look to start back. Camper rolled it to the Hawks blue line. It bounced an intended pass from Shaw. Assad was tipped. Trying to get it over to Duncan Keith, but instead Darling had to stop the bouncer. Scott Darling, in just his 8th NHL game ever, and put together he was great when he was here, but not in the American Hockey League when he played. I mean, he had the 10th best goals against average, the 6th best save percentage in the entire American League. He was at 93% in his games there, so it was really rock solid play. Doesn't matter where he's laced him up, he's been really good. He looked at a shot here go wide. Good Branson. Dropped it back, and Barkov couldn't get there. Kulikov. Checked by Saad, but Kulikov carried on to Brad Boyes. Looking to center, Kulikov a shot. Darling shut the door short side. Rebound to Seabrook. Bounce it loose. The coincidental's over. Both teams full strength. Fleischman turned it over in behind. It's taken by Hjalmarsson now. Richards fires it across. Seabrook a long clip shot. Luongo had a good look at that one all the way. Now Saad off the boards, right to the middle. Finally, his pass was tipped. Hossa knocked away by Huberdeau, and will it go far enough? No. Seabrook will have to play it. Here's Taves into the zone to Versteeg, who rings it around. Scotty Upshaw tipped it loose, and now Jimmy Hayes unable to advance it. And right to the defensive zone. Was it tipped? It went out of play. The officials looking to one another, and that's going to be a delay of game penalty. Roosevelt will have a seat.
Yeah, this puck was on edge, Pat, and I think what made it even more difficult is that Kyle Comiskey ends up tripping there. And I don't know if he gets a piece of this before he shoots it or not. No, yeah, it just comes off his stick. He double hit that, Pat.
Yeah, so I wonder about a tip. I thought I saw it.
Yeah, he double hit that, and wasn't there one golfer? Was it Isu Aoki that double hit when he had the lead in the
I think
one of the major golf tournaments?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That was Isu Aoki. He double hit it. That's exactly what happened. He got it, and then he hit it again as it was leaving, and that's what made it leave the playing surface.
It's a penalty on ice. It's a penalty on green grass. Here's a Florida power play. Huberdeau taking a look for the long shot. Good save, Darling. Rebound, Bjugstad. They tried to drop it back. It eludes. Ekblad back to center. Well, the Hawks PK was really good their first chance tonight. Tested again early in the third here. Good play by Chalmerson to Kruger to get it out of there. Barkov brings it around. Darling out to play it himself. Huberdeau kept it in. Checked by Kruger, who knocked it loose. Here comes Taves into the zone. Jonathan Taves could not get away from Aaron Ekblad, who was able to strip it loose. Barkov the other way. Able to get the line. Barkov taken away by Seabrook. Terrific play and an easy clear. A minute remains on the Florida power play. Now Trocheck winds it around the boards. Boys hit it to the side of the net. Trocheck got it back. Brad Boyd looks to center. Jokinen well covered. It's knocked away to Smith. And Smith put it in behind the Florida net. You see Jokinen cleared it to Trocheck into the zone. His wrist shot went wide. Held in Jokinen to Fleischmann, then Campbell. And here's Boyd. A centering pass to Fleischmann. His shot, good save down low by Darling. There to Trocheck in the corner, knocked back to Campbell. Across to Fleischmann. His shot. Darling soaked it up. No rebound.
Well, nothing going on for the Panthers for the majority of this power play, and then Trocheck throws his puck over to Thomas Fleischmann. He does a good job of settling it down and not able to really get any elevation at all there, Pat, because Duncan Keith in the shooting lane. Two Blackhawks converge on Jokinen, and the stop from the big man in goal, Scott Darling.
Hawks get this draw. The puck deflecting out of play. The Hawks, we mentioned this briefly. It needs repeating because especially here with the defensive zone draw. The Hawks so far tonight have won 10 faceoffs. Florida 26. They have had dominance. The visitors from down south. And here's the draw. They get another one. A loose puck hacked to the middle. The shot went just wide of the backhand from McKenzie. Comiskey jammed it loose for Stieg. They'll clear it ahead to Kruger. He's hit hard as he dumped it in. Kemper cut across, gave a good jolt, but now the Panthers start back.
They get to make a play there. Good job there for Marcus Kruger.
Roosevelt had difficulty handling it. Now Richards put it across the ice. Nobody knew who was going to play it, so Fleischmann kept it in. Down he goes. Comiskey looked right at the referee, thought he was going to get a penalty, and it didn't happen. Back comes Patrick Sharp. Ulikov knocked it away. Boys heads up the ice. Brad Boys into the zone. His shot picked away by Darling. It's out of play.
Well, tomorrow night, the surging Bulls look to make it 5 in a row here at the United Center. It's 7 of 8 overall as they take on the Charlotte Hornets. Coverage begins tomorrow night at 6:30. Get Neil, get Stacy, get Stacy, get Neil. 6:30. Now CSN Chicago. You get a little ski, too. Hey, look what she's got, some soft serve ice cream.
See you in a minute. Chalmerson able to hoist it out of there. Branson goes up the board, back the other way. Seabrook has to chase it down. Here's Nordstrom. Pass broken up. Huberdeau put it into Barkov. Boys, got 10 goals this year as the veteran. One of the few veteran forwards for the Panthers. Chalmerson gets it back. And out comes Kruger. going to be no icing. They say Keith could have played it. He got a jolt from Hayes. Now it's loose in behind Bukestad. Bukestad got rubbed off by Hossa. And the Hawks get out of the zone. Rosabal. And Taves was in just ahead of the puck, so the offside whistle goes 7 minutes into the third period. The Hawks with a 2-goal lead. Tonight in our Illinois Lotteries, anything is possible. We jump back 35 years to Lake Placid, New York, when a group of college kids took their miracle performance against the Soviet Union in the semis one step further. They beat Finland in the men's gold medal game 4-2. And you remember from the movie, I'm sure, that one of the great speeches before any hockey game ever, when Herb Brooks reminded his team that they had one more assignment, and if the great win over Russia wasn't followed up by the victory over the Finns, everything they had worked to achieve would be forgotten. So I think it's something along the lines of, if you guys don't win tonight, you will never forget it. So they were able to follow it up and beat Finland 4-2 to complete the most unlikely miracle, and an event many people feel is still one of the greatest in American sports history.
No question. 35 years ago.
I don't know about the rest of them. O'Callaghan doesn't look like it's been any more than 3 or 4 weeks.
I'll tell you what, Pat, thinking about that event and what that did and what those players did for hockey in our country, and opened up a lot of doors and opened up a lot of eyes, saying, you know what, American-born players can get it done. And I mean, I was lucky enough to play on the next team in 1984.
Yeah,
and it was just an incredible display of just courage and the will, and it was great. I mean, 1980 was just absolutely incredible.
Oh, remarkable. And you make a really good point, Eddie, because I mean, I was around back then, and NHL general managers were not fond of American hockey players for the most part, and more than that, they certainly were not fans of collegiate players.
Right.
Because, well, there are several reasons for that, and it's all hypothetical as to why that might have been. But it was a fact of the matter at that point. So a huge victory for many, many reasons. And it's really cool how when anniversaries like this come up, I think people still like to remember it. You know, they like to be reminded of it.
And where were you when?
Yeah. Eight minutes gone by in the third. Hawks with a 2-goal lead. And the Blackhawks, I mean, they would certainly like to score again. Obviously, to try to cement this against an offensively challenged team. But beyond that, as Richards had his backhander deflect wide. Beyond that, the Hawks offense really has been sputtering of late. I mean, 4 straight games now they've scored 2 or less. And 8 of the last 11 games they've scored 2 or less. So certainly like to be able to light the lamp a little bit more regularly than they have in the last couple of weeks.
Well, you keep firing pucks to the net, Pat. We mentioned Patrick Sharp earlier in this game. I thought he has had a really strong game. People going to the net, standing in front of the net. I think Brian Bickell's had a really good game with not a lot of ice time. He's had 6 hits officially through 2 periods of play and hadn't played 8 minutes.
He shoots one here, trying to go high, short side, just as you suggested earlier. That time, shoulders up from Luongo. And did that go right out of play? It did. Penalty, Florida. Power play, Chicago.
Yeah, it's going to be on Sean Thornton, and this puck looked like it went on edge as he was trying to spin around there, but give the effort here to Brian Bickell. Great effort. Shuts off the play. Good pressure from Saad. Great stick from Bickell. Luongo down, and Bickell tries to go upstairs on that short side. Pressure coming from Bickell, and then the puck goes on edge, and Thornton airmails it into the crowd. Power play chance here for the home team.
Hossa chasing down a loose puck. They get Shaw to the front of the net. Here's Seabrook's one-timer. Missed the target. I don't think Luongo ever saw that through Shaw. Seabrook again to Hossa. Now Keith fired a long shot. That's blocked out in front. Cleared out of the Florida end.
Nice play by Goodbranson.
Taken by Taves into the zone. Centered. Hossa. Good save, Luongo. Fine rush up the ice. Seabrook to Taves to Hossa. All accurate, quick passes. A good chance resulted, but Luongo able to beat Hossa's bid. Here's a ring around. And Hossa dug it out of the corner. Taves dropped it to Keith. Looking back to the captain. Taves, a wrist shot. Caught off by Luongo. And the Panthers able to clear. We've reached the halfway point of the third period. 45 for a Hawks power play. Look out the Florida bench. The dump-in attempt by Rundblad. Went in amongst the visitors.
Well, from our Weather Tech Rogo Cam. Quick developing play. Taves to Hossa. First good chance. Good save there from Roberto Luongo. And the second chance came from Jonathan Taves. There's another look at the Hossa chance. Unable to get a second chance opportunity off of those two quality chances from Hossa and Taves back to back.
Brandon Saad gets the line. It bounced to Comiskey, who was stripped before he could shoot 2-on-1 the other way. Here come the Panthers. Trocheck gets in. Forced down deep. And whiffed on a pass attempt. Well, it looked like it might have been a good Florida opportunity. They never got a shot away. Sharp to the other and looking to dance to the middle. Trocheck stripped him. Couldn't get it past Rundblad. David Rundblad to Brad Richards. Going to go across to Hjalmarsson. His long wrist shot is seen all the way by Bobby Lute. 9 minutes to go in regulation. Blackhawks with a 2-goal lead at home.
Well, time now for our first Midwest Bank fan cam. He's got his Hjalmarsson bobblehead. He wants to turn his goal light on.
That guy's fully outfitted in giveaway gear. You see that? He had the tooth, he had the scarf. Lots of happy humans so far tonight in the UC.
Had a Bickle fan there, had a Sauter fan, all right.
Taves wins a draw. Hjalmarsson to Saad, looking for Hossa, but he was covered. Now Taves rolled it deep. Saad checked by Ekblad. Hossa picked up the puck. Dropped it to Seabrook. Saad. Now Hjalmarsson is checked. The Panthers couldn't get it beyond Saad, but then it bounced off of Hjalmarsson and out. Here's Nick Bjugstad, who's pretty quiet tonight. He's their leading scorer, leading point producer, but been particularly not had a lot of good opportunities so far in the game.
The line's been quiet there with Hayes and Jokinen.
All right, here's Boys. Throwing it in on the diagonal dump. Jokinen needs help from Barkov. Barkov jammed it loose. Comiskey had it taken away. You see Jokinen's pass deflecting to Brad Boyd. Looks to center. Jokinen kicks the stick. He scored. What a play. Jokinen kicked to the stick with a difficult pass. Fired quickly. And the Panthers have cut the Blackhawks lead in half. UC Jokinen, 6th of the year.
Well, what a play by Brad Boyce, Pat. And watch what he does with his head. As he goes for this puck, watch what he does. He does a quick little shoulder check. He sees what is open. He gets it and he fires it into an area. If he doesn't look, Pat, he has no idea Jokinen's there. That's a heads-up play by a veteran guy. Great pickup. No chance for Scott Darling. And the Florida Panthers are back in this game, only down 1 right now with 7:37 left to go.
All right, now Ekblad hit it to center. Weissman shifted deep. Upshaw on Rundblad. Bounce loose to Weissman, a shot and an arm save made by Darling. It, I believe, hit the netting in behind, so the whistle has gone, although it took an extra moment for the officials to realize that. But the play stopped.
Well, if you're just joining us, back in the first period, Patrick Kane gets drilled from behind by Alex Petrovic. Patrick Kane left the game. Got word from the Blackhawks that he would not return. But a dangerous hit from Petrovic.
Maybe get a chances he gets a phone call.
Without a doubt, he'll get a phone call.
Yeah. Hawks dump it in. Picked up by Sharp, looking to center, hit the side of the net. Now Versteeg back to Sharp. Patrick Sharp out to Rundblad, then Keith. And the Panthers now looking to move in. Upshaw fired along with a knuckleball type shot. His stick actually broke on the shot attempt. Darling made the save, and then Sharp dropped it to Keith. Now the Panthers, Ekblad, who again just turned 19 years of age. He was the first pick of the draft last season and is, by all accounts, operated on the ice this year like a 5 or 10 year man. Now the Panthers try to get it out in front. That was jammed up away from Wilson, and Kruger got spun around, managed to get it out of there. Shaw got it deep. Good Branson and gets Bickle. Now Kulikov lost his stick under pressure from Shaw. McKenzie able to knock Shaw off the puck. So Hayes comes out. Jimmy Hayes got 17 goals this year. It's been quiet so far tonight. Hayes trying to make something happen for the visitors. In deep, Kampfer rolled it loose. Came back to it. Huberdeau had a jump free. Comiskey stripped by Huberdeau. He centered it. Nobody home for the Panthers. Good sequence here for the visitors. Now it's a chase down by Bickle, who got wrapped up on the boards. Panthers keep it alive. Huberdeau to the backhand, and a door shut by Darling. Petrovic kicked it into the corner. Hawks get it out. Bickle cleared the zone. Here's Taves into the offensive end. Fakes the shot. Cuts in. Shooting. Luongo came well out to challenge him. Bobby Lou made the save 4 or 5 feet outside the goal crease, and it's out of play with 5 minutes to go and a 1-goal game. We promised it earlier. Here it comes. Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Well, the goal from Chris Versteeg gives the Blackhawks a 2-0 lead. Number 13 on the season for the former Florida Panther. And since that point, the Panthers have cut the Hawks lead in half.
In any event, last line you see there from the great Dave Ross. He's actually been back in the lineup for 7 games since an extended absence with injury. But that's 4 goals in 7 games since coming back. So finding his form right away. His Versteeg is a shot handled by Luongo from Kruger. Well, the Panthers have played in this rink 14 times. Hawks have 10 wins. They're 10-2-2 against Florida here in this arena. Again, on Thursday night, we'll be down in Florida to take on the Panthers in the back half of this home-and-home get-together. That's an offside play as Barkov way ahead of the line before boys.
God, I can't remember if that was last year's game or the year before when we had that game here on a Friday night, and we had, we must have had about 10 or 12 inches of snow. And that's when I made my drive from the northwest suburbs and left my house at 12:30, and I got here at 6:30 at night. So it was a little rough traveling.
I think that was 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago?
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
Well, the Panthers stay right downtown.
Yeah, right.
Took them an hour and a half to get, 15 blocks.
Saw all those snowplows out there. I said, something's got to give.
Here's a chance for Campbell. Save, Darling. Rebound, Kruger. They got a 3-on-2 the other way. Kruger. Oh, and it's batted out of the air by Campbell. It was knocked down with a high stick, though, they say.
The Hawks got lucky there. I don't believe that it was a high stick there. A couple of the Blackhawk players, Seabrook in particular, put his arm up to let the officials know it was a high stick. And I could feel the table up here rumbling from the Florida Panthers management and coaching staff box. On that replay, look, maybe it was a touch above the height of the crossbar, but West referee blew the whistle and way down.
Now Sharp for Richards. Then Versteeg battles in the front. Couldn't get rid of an attempt. And it's cleared back the other way. Chased down by Upshaw. That's by Rosabal. Able to take it down. Here's a shot handled by Crawford by Darling in behind his Fleischman. Dropped it back. Hanfer put it to Fleischman around to check. He sent it quick. Good save. Darling to his right. Rebound. Bounce back to the line. They think it's in. I don't think it crossed the line. No indication from the referee. Down near the goal line was Graham Skilliter. He was not straddling the goal line, and there was never a call made on the ice. It did not appear.
Pat, it looked like from my vantage point, this puck found its way just barely over the line. Just barely. The overhead will give us the clear look. Yeah, looks like it's in. Yeah, that look is a great look. I mean, you lose sight of it. That first original replay looks like there's some spacing in between the goal line and the puck. This one you won't be able to see because the glove's in the way.
But, again, it'll be a video decision, obviously, here. But
conclusive.
Is there conclusive evidence?
Right.
Because I looked at Graham Skilliter. Now, I don't know if we'll get a look to show you where he was. He was at the top of the screen, or in other words, on the far side of the ice from where we are watching in our camera angle views. But it did not appear that he ever gave a washout for no goal or point to the net to indicate a goal.
Right. You have to see white in between the puck and the goal line. And there, that's it.
Yeah, no doubt, I would say about that. And we're going to have a tie game here.
Now, is that puck completely... Yeah, right there, that's clearly...
Yeah. The one thing, remember the play several weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago, when the Hawks had a similar type of scenario here,
right,
but the puck was up off the ice, and because of the rule of verticality that came into play, the puck was on the ice. Well, we have obviously a microphone malfunction or a wrong button pushed, and this is a tie game.
Well, how about the crazy carom, though, Pat, that it ends up getting thrown to the front of the net. It was Trocheck that threw it to the front of the net, and it looked like it changed direction a couple of times, and the last time it went off of Duncan Keith, and the puck just barely got across the goal line.
So the Panthers have scored 2 goals in just over 4 minutes. And now it's an even game once more. So here's the draw. Saad, little stop and go move, but did not get rid of the check of Kulikov. Back come the Panthers. Kulikov gets in there, brings it around. Now a lead pass just out of the reach of Saad. The race is on for Ising, and Saad hustled to save the whistle. He got the puck. Saad fingers it around the boards. Here's Hossa. Toews was slow to get up after some contact. He's laboring.
Gudbranson. Him and Gudbranson came together.
Oh, he's able to pick up the puck, Toews. He'll go to change here. Panthers Ekblad hacked it up the board. Barkov got it out to Jokinen. Oh, Keith has to chase it down to Rundblad. Nordstrom had it, nearly lost it, but now able to clear it out of there. Bouncing puck picked up by the visitors. Aaron Ekblad with 2 minutes remaining. Here it at Du Bois. He dumped it. Taken by Hjalmarsson. It jumped away from Sharp. Kicked forward though by Versteeg. It's Versteeg. Oh, it's taken away by the Panthers. And out they come. Trocheck into the zone. His pass picked off by Hjalmarsson. Came loose in front to Versteeg. Clearing to center where Sharp was taken off the puck. Now Petrovic dumped it in. And Saad gets out with it. Here comes Hossa with some speed into the zone. Hossa, and he was stripped of it with pressure from in front and behind that time. Huberdeau able to get it, then he lost it. Here's Hossa looking in front. He waited too long. The pass didn't connect. Hossa to the back and didn't get the puck through the traffic. Gudbranson comes away. Final minute now of regulation. Here comes Rundblad. Long feed missing Kruger. The race for icing won by the Panthers.
Well, a turnover from Jonathan Huberdeau in his own zone. Good forecheck there from Toews. The lift of the stick by Saad. There's Hossa. Got a chance to let it go. Settles it down. Waits. And eventually gets it to the front of the net. I think Luongo makes a stop on that redirect from Toews. I think Hossa was waiting for that puck to settle down there, Pat. By the time it settled down, he wasn't able to maybe make the play that he wanted.
Now it's tipped loose, and here comes Nordstrom. Kruger checked on the boards. Panthers win that battle. They're able to get it out. Here comes Barkov into the zone. A rink wide to Boyd. His backhand shot is blocked out in front to Smith. Ben Smith with 15 left. Cleared around to Boyd. Never reached him. Hawks keep it in. Seabrook's on the other side. Helped by Kruger. A centering pass. Tip right on to save Luongo. Holding on.
Plenty of time here to set up a face-off play to the left of Roberto Luongo. Like the way that line's played here tonight, Pat, for Joe Quenneville, that fourth line.
Obviously, he does too. How often in a tie game are they on the ice in the last minute?
Protecting the lead, and Nordstrom, Smith, and Kruger.
Now Shaw and Bjugstad. Face-off neutralized. That's going to finish the third period. So the Florida Panthers able to come from 2 goals down to get at least 1 point in the standings. The Panthers had a 16-shot third. The Blackhawks had 10. The Blackhawks and Panthers going to extra time. How'd we get there, partner?
2-0 lead for the Blackhawks early in this game. Power play goal. Jonathan Toews gives the Hawks a 1-0 lead. Into the second period. Patrick Sharp shot deflected, goes right to Chris Versteeg. The Hawks with a 2-0 lead. Missed opportunity on a power play to make it 3-0. We get to the third period. Great play there for Brad Boyce, getting the puck over to Jussi Jokinen. He beats Scott Darling to make it a 2-1 game, and then Trocheck throws his puck to the front of it, takes a crazy carom off of Duncan Keith, barely gets across the line. And twos are wild as we get ready for overtime.
Blackhawks cut into the once dominant face-off margin that the Panthers had, but still they've had a big night at the dot.
And how about the hits, Pat? I had Brian Bickle for 8 of the 18 hits in this game, and he had 6 of those after 2 periods. He only played 757 of the game. So I think an impactful game by a guy like Brian Bickle. Maybe didn't get a lot of ice time, but I think he's been a guy that's been able to change the momentum of a game and performed well here through the first 3 periods.
All right, 4 against 4 in OT as we get underway. Keith with Taves. Weave away from Bjugstad. He did. Taves going to get the line. Carried on by Saad to the middle. Oh, he just lost the puck as he was ready to pull the trigger. Now Taves. Knocked away Goodbranson and retrieved by Kulikov. Check. Steal. Taves. He drives for Saad. Goal post. Second time the Hawks have drawn iron down at this end. Rebound to the point now. Rundblad to Taves. 70. Oh! It was tipped by Saad, but just went wide. And now Kulikov able to knock him down to the end of a long shift for both those guys. Back come the Panthers. Into the zone. Bjugstad centered it. Here's Hayes. And he pulled it to the forehand but missed the net. Close in. Sharp on the counterattack. Gets the line to Hossa. Centered it. Deflected off a skate and out of play.
Well, Brandon Saad took a big hit from Kulikov at the end of his long shift, but look at that puck on edge. Up and off the crossbar, and here's Kulikov, who would turn the puck over, Pat, to allow the Blackhawks some good zone time there. I mean, that's just a good hit by Kulikov. Nothing over the line on that hit. That's just a good, hard hockey play, and that's a hard working shift there for Taves and Saad up front with Rundblad and Keith on the back end.
Now the Panthers get out. Campbell, a wrist shot, fought off by Darling. Campbell getting it back. Pressured by Jomerton, who lost his stick momentarily. Chance Markov shooting. Oh, what a hot pass. Went off of Huberdeau just wide. Held in by Ekblad. Now Seabrook takes it back. Brent Seabrook works back to center. Surrounded there, but Hossa carried on. Hossa for Sharp to Hossa. Hossa driving to the middle. Poke check before he can pull the trigger. Good work there from Ekblad. And the Panthers get out. Now here's Ekblad weaving to the middle. Into the corner, Trocheck. Able to come up with it. Threw it out. Taken by Kampfer. To Trocheck. With a long wrist shot. Tip. Oh, the redirect from Jokinen didn't miss by a lot. Kampfer dropped it back. Did it go out? It did. And the offside whistle goes.
Boy, 2 quality chances for the Florida Panthers here in overtime. That last one, the redirect by Jussi Jokinen. Standing by himself in front of the net. The quick little redirect. Florida Panthers had fresh bodies on the ice.
Halfway through extra time here. Now Koniski needs help from Versteeg. That's jammed up. Here's Hayes. Jimmy Hayes. Put it back. That puck is held in. Now Comiskey takes over. A long bank pass looking for Versteeg. Out of his reach. The race for icing is won by Versteeg to prevent a whistle. And then the Panthers take over. Petrovic winds it around. Going to be held in by Keith. Fires a long shot. Hit traffic out in front. Keith gets it back. To Versteeg, to Keith. He waits. He wires. Poke check by Luongo as he tried to stick handle. And Hayes the other way in on Hjalmarsson. Hayes' pass is picked off by Keith. Hjalmarsson pass picked off. And he's able to get it back. Minute and a half remaining. Keith with some skating room. And Shaw will circle back. Has no help. It's taken away by the Panthers. Fleischmann in. Thomas Fleischmann dropped it back to Branson. Kulikov. Pass stolen away. Now Fleischmann able to keep it in. He's been out there a long time. Panthers still have the heat on. A dance move, a shot, and a save, Darling. Able to deny boys. Came in front. Darling saves the game. Rebound. Deflected up high. Held in good Branson. Panthers have it going on hot and heavy. Here's the centering pass broken up by Keith. He's been out there forever. Kulikov to good Branson. Back to Dmitry Kulikov. Boys off the boards. Centered it. Good Branson. Whiffed on a shot attempt. Keith couldn't advance it. Good Branson again. 30 left. Fleischmann for Florida. Ran out of time. Keith got to him. Rundblad took it away. He's ridden to the corner. Puck won by the Panthers. Fleischmann. Now they miss boys with a pass. And an exhausted group of Hawks finally gets the puck back. Rundblad to Saad. He's going to walk into the offensive zone. Lost it up the line. Back comes
Too many men for the
Huberdeau.
Hawks out there right now.
Yeah, they're not going to be caught. Huberdeau's pass didn't result in a chance before the horn went. And if the Hawks had too many, nobody noticed it. So no harm done. Oh, I'm sorry, Andy, you saw the arm up. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, the trailing official had his arm up there on that last, what was it, last 8 or 10 seconds. I'm surprised the Florida Panthers didn't make a change there, Pat, when they had all that territorial time there. You had tired players on the ice for the Hawks, but also for the Panthers. If one guy comes off or two guys come off. There you see Jerry Gallant, the head coach of the Panthers, barking up at the officials. Oh, he has. Yes, he has. Yeah, he sure has. Boy, a couple of good looks for the visitors here, and Scott Darling with a good save there off the stick of Brad Boyes and Eric Branson. The right pad save from Darling, and that last one there, Brad, looks like he tries to stop it with his head. I mean, what a shift at the end of the game. And then here's that chance that Duncan Keith had. Puck rolling, settles it down. Looks like he's going to try to deke him, and then at the last second just loses control and off the left pad, and the Panthers come back the other way. But partner, a very entertaining overtime period.
Absolutely. Now we go to a shootout to decide the second point, and you know who's always going to be first up for Coach Q. Here comes Taves on Luongo. To the backhand, he scores!
Well, Jonathan Taves lost the puck there, Pat, at the top of the circle, but he stayed right with it. Little forehand, backhand shimmy. Elevate those hands up towards the crossbar, and Taves scores.
Well, you see the kid, Vincent Trocheck, just 21 years of age. This is only his 50th game ever in the league. Trocheck on Darling. Save, Darling! He had him leaning to the right. He needed all 6'5" to kick back to the left.
Yeah, that strong left leg. Never left a post there, Pat. Never left it. There's some room upstairs, but terrific stop there from Darling.
Usually it's Patrick Kane. He's unavailable. Here comes Sharp as the second shooter. Right up the gut. He scores!
Well, Patrick Sharp, pretty simple here, Pat. He goes from his backhand to shoot right away. Watch his backhand and boom. just lets it go right, almost skate left and shoot right.
The leading scorer for Florida has to convert here to keep his team alive. Bukestad in on Darling. You've done it, Hawks win. Scott Darling picks up his 6th victory in 8 starts as the Hawks let a 2-goal lead get away, but they come up with a 2-point night.
A much-needed win for the Blackhawks. A real good start. Not a great finish in the third, but they gutted it out. Got some timely saves from their goaltender. And we'll head to South Florida on a very happy note as they'll take on these same Florida Panthers on Thursday night.
So the Hawks able to pick up their 36th victory of the year, 16 games over 500. Let's check out the 3 stars.
Brought to you by Bud Light. The number 3 star of the game from the Blackhawks with his 18th goal of the season, number 19, Jonathan Toews. The number 2 star of the game from Florida, number 36, Jussi Jokinen. And the number 1 star of the game from the Blackhawks with his 13th goal of the season, number 23, Chris Versteeg. Please turn your attention to the Blackhawks bench, where Luke Stuckmeyers with tonight's number 1 star of the game, Chris Versteeg.
Chris, how important was this being the final game of the homestand to dig deep, find a way to somehow get the 2 points tonight?
Yeah, it was huge. Obviously, the third didn't go the way that we wanted it to, but we really rallied behind everybody here tonight and found a way to get it done in the shootout.
Some battle drills at practice yesterday. Guys looking for those one-on-one battles. You think you won them tonight?
Yeah, I think we did a great job. They're a tough team to play against. They're young, they're exciting, and they battle hard, so we brought everything we had, and it was a big win.
How did the team respond to Patrick Kane having to leave the game, and how do you guys move forward?
Well, obviously, we're ticked off when the best player in the league gets hurt, so it's going to be an uphill battle without him, but we're going to have guys step up.
Chris, thanks for your time. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Chris Versteeg.